So before we start, just a short prayer to invoke auspiciousness. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Will you be seated? So this is a very auspicious time of the year where we all take resolutions to lose up some weight, to fix some of the missing things that we have in our life. And I thank especially Rajesh Beheti ji. I haven't seen him in person, is he here? There's no tag here. Oh. For inviting me over, and also Nupur Desai ji, who kindly was pushing me to give a date, and it's possible for the month of January. And this discussion about relationships, it's something that is so important to us because almost any firm, any family, it all is made up of people. A building is not made up of, a building may be made up of stones and bricks and mortar, but a house or a company is made up of people. And we don't know how to make relationships proper, then it is difficult for us to, keep the momentum going on. How many of you have some people under you? आपके नीचे, मतलब अभी नहीं ना, जो नीचे होटल है, staff. How many of you have staff? How many of you have people above you?
All married men.
All married men in companies. So once an American devotee had come to our temple, and he was sharing a very interesting experience. He was sharing that wherever he goes, he tries to learn the language. And he had gone to France. And when he went to France, he wanted to learn the language there. He stayed for quite a good time. And learning a language is not everyone's cup of tea, especially not mine. Anyone here that has hard time picking up languages? Many of us. So he was trying to speak broken French. And as he was trying to speak broken French, people were ridiculing him, people were making fun of him. Like, I am from South India. I am from Hyderabad. So my Hindi is not pakka, not good. So there was a UP person who had just come a few days back. So he was coming from a program. So I asked him, वहाँ पे बहुत आनंद हुई आपको? तो इस kind of, so, what did you say? I said, आनंद हुआ आपको उधर जाके? Yeah. So like that, in France, he was being picked for speaking wrong grammar, wrong words. And then he came to India. And when he came to India, he was trying to learn Hindi. And when he was trying to learn Hindi, he was trying to communicate the language in Hindi, and in ISKCON we do have some foreigners who are become experts at speaking Hindi, even speaking Sanskrit. So his experience was when he was in India trying to speak back to people in Hindi. People were not picking the faults that he was putting on. People were appreciating that he's attempting to learn this language, and people were actually loving him for making that attempt. And he said, I really love Indians because they were trying to encourage me, and they really wanted well more than the French. And this aspect of not encouraging others in whatever they are doing is a very important aspect, in building relationships. And most people that are morose is because someone or something didn't live up to them, or they were not liked, loved, or because of the expectations that they have, they didn't see the world in the way that was to be seen. Like there is a way in which we see things. Like once a man and wife, husband and wife, because Prabhuji was mentioning about your husbands, please listen to this talk carefully. So this particular joke, please listen to this carefully. So husband and wife are walking, and when they're walking, a dog came barking. Immediately this man picked up his husband, this man picked up her wife, thinking that मुझे काटा तो चलेगा, बीवी को नहीं काटना चाहिए. She was showing his love for the wife, and he picked up the wife. And the dog was totally confused. What is this? And then the dog left. And then when this guy put the wife down, the wife was so angry and annoyed at him, she started to pick a stick and started to beat him up, run after him. And he asked, "Arey, मैं तो आपको बचा रहा था. I was not picking you up to save." But the way she understood was that he thought that लोग तो कुछ डंडा लेते हैं, मतलब कुत्ते को मारने के लिए. आपने तो पूरा पत्नी को ही उठा दिया, पत्नी से मारने के लिए. So he was doing one thing in one way, and the other guy, other person saw the whole thing in another way. Once a couple had come to our temple, a intercontinental couple from different countries, and they came with a very heavy issue that हमारा जम नहीं रहा and आपका क्यों नहीं जम रहा है. Usually they came to a guru and he kind of made them sit and asked him what is happening. So any question, any kind of thing, guesses, क्यों नहीं जम रहा होगा दोनों के बीच में. They're all experienced. Communication. Speak of some incidents, not principles. Cultural differences. क्या हो सकता है वो cultural difference? साड़ी and jeans वो तो नहीं है, वो दोनों एक यूरोप का और अमेरिका का. Religion becomes a big issue. Obedience. Oh, who should obey whom? Opinions. Oh, opinions. Any other guesses?
Infidelity.
Maybe I said American and European.
Infidelity. They say, na, if you're a European and you have a wife and a girlfriend, then they will love the wife more and have the girlfriend. If you're an American, they will love the girlfriend more than the wife. And you're an Indian, you love your mother more. दोनों से ज़्यादा माँ ज़्यादा important है. So they both came. Thank you for your opinions, different guesses why इनका नहीं पढ़ना था. And typical that the wife was saying he doesn't love me, husband was saying she doesn't understand me, and he said, let's go flashback. थोड़ा पीछे जाते हैं. कहाँ से चालू हुई ये misunderstanding or she doesn't love me? And he said that on the first day, since the first day, I am seeing that the way she is serving me breakfast, I see it as an insult. And the wife was startled. So what do you eat for breakfast? It's a typical sandwich, some bread and butter, toast butter. तो उसमें क्या ऐसा क्या आ गया issue? And the husband said, she serves with the last piece of the bread. In the bread slices, we have that last piece and we have the middle pieces. How many of you like the last piece? How many of you feel insulted if you have served the last piece? कुछ तो खिलाओ भाई. कौन इसका? I usually move around because we are all being stalled for a while. So let me at least move. Yes, please. So the husband said she serves with the last piece of the bread, and it's not that वही बचा है. मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बीच में proper slices है, but still she serves with the last piece. I mean, like a dog that we serve the last piece of the thing. And the wife was totally startled when she heard, because she never even asked कि आपको ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है. दोनों का बस assumptions बढ़ते गए. Only when they came towards a sadhu and they started to remove all the affairs. Let's discuss about facts. There are always facts and there are opinions. Let's discuss the facts. And the wife started to say, see, I am from a European background. And in Europe, it's a mark of respect to serve that last piece. Because it's nicely roasted. It's a mark of respect. And I was told that you should know, show your respect to your husband. Not that Pati Parameshwar type of thing. But show your respect. But in the American culture, it's sign of disrespect if you serve the last piece. And this piece of bread, how it was served, because of miscommunication, misunderstanding, went to the extent of no, and that percolates. Once you get a one kind of drishtikon, a kind of outlook, then you start to see everything that way. So in today's discussion, short discussion, I'm not going to stick that I should complete that 8. I'm more for giving the proper items rather than completing all the menu. So I want to ask you, this is a question that you need to ask in your relationships, whether at work, whether at home, that when you are in that relationship, these 8 questions, if you just go through them, it will help you to clarify why are you there and what is the purpose for which we are there. And there is this here, so it's visible. And so the first question in a relationship, in any way, that you should ask is that, is this a tool or a goal? That the relationship that I am in, is this a tool for me to get somewhere, or is this a goal? Just 1 or 2 opinions. What do you think? Is a relationship a tool or a goal?
Should be a tool.
Should be a tool. Any other?
Should be a goal.
Should be a goal. Okay, let me clarify. In family relationships, what should be the relation? We should be a tool or a goal? Good. At work? Who said both? Who said both? Just I was introduced, right? I studied quantum physics for a while, so the quantum physics सब ऐसा रहता है, ऐसी wave और particle. Now relationship में मुझे भी ऐसे ही चमका that no, this is the way I want to present the topic of relationships, the tool or a tool. And I would like to refer to a story from the Mahabharata about Duryodhana and Arjuna. Both were at the brink of the war, both needed support, and both went to Krishna. How many of you know this story? Most of you know this story, so I'm not going to go in detail. And Duryodhana was given an option that, no, what do you choose? What do you want? Do you want my resources, my army, one Akshavini Sena of Narayani army, or do you want me? Just me, nothing else, no army. So me or army? So there was a question that was asked to Duryodhana. And Duryodhana said that, what will I do with you? Because if you're not going to work, we are going to a battlefield, and sometimes work becomes a battlefield. We go to battlefield, and in battlefield we need people, we need hands to fight. So Duryodhana chose, that I want the army, so that I am better placed in terms of my resources. And then Arjuna, he chose Krishna. That no, I give priority to the relationship that we have, and because of the maturity and the love, the friendship that we have, it will give me great support if people are with me. No matter how much money we have, how much Facebook friends or millions of likes we may have for our products or our companies, if there are no people that are backing you up, especially in times of difficulty when we are down, then we will feel what did I do all my life, where there's nobody is there to support me in these times of need. So definitely in any place, relationship is the goal, because there we want each other, and our need for each other to get something done should be lesser than our love for each other. Whenever two people interact, we all interact based on the need only. हमें किसी में भी इतना प्रेम नहीं except माँ के अलावा. That we'll meet without any need that specifically is there. But our love for each other should not be less than our need for each other. And that's what happens in the marriage, that in the initial days, the need for each other is a lot, especially on the physical level. But as the needs get fulfilled and the love doesn't develop, then there is all types of sparks that come, all types of warfare that happens, throwing of arrows, throwing of bullets. And therefore they say, in wedding and welding, there is sparks. But in welding, there are sparks and then there is bonding. And in wedding, there is bonding and then there are sparks. कि बाद में चालू होता है 2-3 साल के बाद या कभी-कभी बहुत जल्दी. So we should ensure that our need for each other is not overwhelming, that we don't love each other, that in spite of all what we need to get from each other, that human touch, that human concern for each other should be there, that we are loving that person more than what we are using that person. And none of us like to be used as a tool. This joke goes that once a CEO of a company, he comes out of a brand new BMW, and one of his junior employees is looking at the boss. He's coming out of this newly bought BMW, and he says, this boss is telling, so if you work hard, I'll get a better BMW next year. So the employees become only a tool for you to get somewhere. And this very starkly comes out in the Bhagavad Gita, where Duryodhana, when he is speaking to Dronacharya, he says that all these people that are there here fighting for me, Mother Te Tyakto Jivita, that they have all come to give their lives for my cause. That for my benefit they are here. And he is not thinking about their own benefit. Whereas Arjuna, why people loved the Pandavas so much? Because Arjuna was a person who said that Ishuvi Pratiyosami Pujara Risutala. Why should I fight for my selfish reason and kill all of them? So one was willing to kill everyone so that he can get ahead. And other was not willing to kill anyone just for him to go ahead. And this difference between Duryodhana and Arjuna is very important, that no, we don't use people, but we love people and use things rather than use people and love things. चीजों से इतना प्रेम हो जाता है कि वो चीज कौन देगा? I said that there are 4 things people love: positions, objects, people, and status. That I want to be in this status, financial status, whatever status. And these things override our human relationships. Like in COVID time, some of the companies, or recent case of Twitter, that no, just because you are not functioning, then without caring for their future, you just fire people like left and right. So that is not the way we are going to develop our relationship. And there's also a story in Ramayana, Dashrath and Kaikeyi. That Kaikeyi just started to see that, well, I'm going to use Dashrath to get my will done, get my thing done. So this is the question that we should all ask, that is it the goal of any relationship is to have that bonding, because we all need each other to go ahead. And if people are not there and we become like the king Midas, where everything is golden, but there is no one to love us. So please do ask this question when we do find. And the Pandavas is again amazing example. We'll come to them again and again. The second question that we should ask in relationships is that of that do you complain about everything, or are you trying to be content with everything? Because in a relationship that's constant, each one is trying to complain. तुमने ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया. So trying to see the good side, what the person has done, or trying to find the faults, pulling the other person. And in a complaining mode, then naturally after a while, the more and more it becomes weaker and weaker. The story, this small little story is told that once a husband was served a very badly burnt roti. And the husband was eating it quietly. चुपचाप खा रहा था.
What choice?
चुपचाप खा रहा था. तो the kind of acceptance that husbands have, क्या choice क्या है, is quite phenomenal. So the son there said, "Papa, बोलती क्यों नहीं रोटी जल गया थोड़ा अच्छा रोटी दो." So he said that, "See, Mama had a very hard day, and she's putting the effort to make, and she's not good at it. तो अभी मैं बोलूँगा ना कुछ, तो अभी तो रोटी जला, मैं जिंदा हूँ, मैं तो मुझे जला दो." So which is important? To eat the burnt roti, थोड़ा बहुत कार्बन के साथ, या to become carbon. So therefore, to not immediately kind of ounce upon what the faults that are there, but to give it some time, to encourage, as I said to that French, the person trying to learn French and Hindi, then to have that encouraging mood that, okay, whatever you have done, and maybe if after a while to convey that will be much more helpful than, and this was a routine that was done in many companies also, that once in a school this was done, that whoever was coming late, the teachers, उनका नाम लिखते थे वो, कि ये लोग आज लेट आए, but वो सुधर ही नहीं रहे थे वो. And later they changed the strategy. They started to write who are coming early, who are actually doing it proper, glorifying it. And what you celebrate, that becomes the culture of the company or the family. And if you celebrate, right things, then those will become the norm. But if you just kind of hate the wrong things, then it doesn't just help the situation to get better. And there is a very big problem in relationships, especially with successful people. Because according to psychologists, they say the biggest enemy to relationships is talent. Talent, skill. The more a person is talented, the more he will be difficult to make genuine relationships, because of the talent, of the success that he has an habit to look at the faults, to look at the limitations, and that's the reason he has grown, because he has seen with himself that this is where I am limited, I need to grow. And therefore most scientists, most talented people are sometimes the loneliest people. The first benchers, usually. Anyone here the first benchers? लेकिन अब अकेले बैठे हैं, अकेले बैठे, मेरा ही कलर पहना है, आ जाइए मेरे साथ. So usually those who are academically smart, they sometimes don't end up being career smart, because academics, as you all know, in the career can only help for a while, but after that it's how you gel with people. And you know that the interesting observation is there that the first row guys become the good software engineers and all that, and the second row becomes the business guys, those who employ these. The third become the politicians who direct the business guys, and the last one become the underdogs, underworld guys. आज यहाँ पे जो पीछे बैठे हैं वो कोई डॉन वॉन नहीं है. They usually become. Ma'am, I have no intention. I was just speaking about the classroom security. And why is it? Because academic smartness or talent becomes many times hindrance, because we are caught up in our own trying to solve problems on paper, problems in the project, and not see what impact the other person is having and is he coming along with you. But those who are in the second and third benches, इतना भी talented नहीं है ना, इतना भी unfriendly, not understanding people's emotions. Those are usually those who excel. It's not that they can be there, but talent and it should be. It is important for us to know this, and therefore in today's generation, today's family culture, where both have great talents, both are working as CFOs, CEOs, or this or that, because of the talent they possess, they kind of expect respect for what they are doing and not kind of bond beyond their accomplishments. Therefore, they say that it will take almost 2 years for people to, for you to impress people. लोगों को अगर इम्प्रेस करना है ना, 2 साल लगेंगे टू रियली शो ऑफ कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, ये कर सकता हूँ, वो कर सकता हूँ. But it only takes 2 months for people to love you. Because when you start to encourage and find and be impressed by them, start to encourage. And this is something that I experienced, that when I had gone in 2004 my masters in Chicago. I was at the temple, and at the temple I was trying to kind of show off my learning in scriptures or my technical aptitude, and for 6 months I just found hard time to make any kind of proper relationships. And then I found out that I am a foreigner here, I have come here, and I'm just trying to impress people with what I can do, rather than seeing and liking what they are doing. So in the next 6 months, not even 6 months, as this survey says, just 2 months. 2 months I spent appreciating what others are doing, like in the kitchen or here and there. And people, I got the way they bonded with me, and then because of anyway all the skills that I had, they gave much more opportunities for me to grow as a free speaker or somebody who could do many things for the temple there, rather than just trying to impress कि मुझे देखो. And so therefore, when we try to complain, no, you are not doing this, you are not doing that, it usually people are not wanting to be around that person who is finding faults. But if we are content and we try to appreciate, we try to be happy with what they have done, not even ठीक है, तुम सुधर जाओ, not like that, but really genuinely thank that person for either putting the effort or for the result that they have given. Then it is a very healthy way. So please ask, are we in that complaining mode in any relationship, and check if your talent is stopping you in bonding well in that relationship. Then the third question that we should ask: are you liking this? Hopefully, which will complete within the next is judge or love. That observing without evaluating is the highest form of human intelligence. सही में अगर कोई बुद्धिमान है ना, he'll be able to observe without giving a conclusion. That he is seeing things, he is observing, but based on just his observation, he doesn't just complete the graph. like ये तो गया है, इसको निकाल देगा. And but he doesn't judge people, and just like that French and American which I spoke about, that we actually spend time wanting to really make that connection. What is the goal? That there are in the judgment scenario, anyone likes those who kind of want or trying to find faults with us? No. People like those who wanting to love us. And when Draupadi's episode had happened in Mahabharata, they had really done big blunders, Pandavas. Put the wife on the gambling, and they lost her. And after all that, of course Draupadi was angry, but she was not judging that the intention that आप लोग कैसे कर सकते हैं? Don't you love me? And she didn't judge. Neither did the brothers judge the elder brother Yudhishthira कि आप ऐसा को कैसे कर सकते हैं? And they understood that there were the forces, and it was a momentary impulse of gambling, just swayed away by that wanting to win, and then he lost the control. So they didn't unnecessarily beat each other up. And many times it happens that when we see someone doing something we don't understand, and then when we try to judge that if he can't speak proper English, if he can't do this, that, then he cannot succeed. Anil Agarwal, he comes to a temple regularly, he sings. He can't hardly, of course he may speak very good English now, but when he had started, it's not that his language was what made him success. He had a very good friend, Hindi Desai, Srinathji Das, who's no more now, the head of Desai. And he shares that how, in spite of all the limitations that he had, there was that encouragement that he found in him, and how that he picked up so much from support from that. Therefore, do we judge or do we love? And so let us give that benefit. Therefore, it said, when something is ununderstandable, you can't understand really, replace your judgment with curiosity. That don't ये left hand से कर रहा है कुछ. Usually Indian traditions, serving with the left hand is considered as not respectable. And someone is doing that you can say इसको माँ बाप ने सिखाया नहीं है. We can just pass judgments. माता पिता ने सिखाया नहीं है या जानबूझ के कर रहा है. वो भी है कि ऐसा करना चाहिए, ऐसा करना चाहिए. वो भी एक वैदिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ऐसा किया तो गलत है, ऐसा किया तो सही है. Or you can be curious that this person did this, that what is the reason? Sometimes it may not be that they were not taught. He may be a person who doesn't have a right hand, and you may not have seen that, or some other issue might be there. And so without knowing the full picture, so therefore replace your judgment with curiosity. That be curious, be a seeker of truth. Don't stop with your own mind's judgments. Then naturally there will not so much negativity that will develop. Therefore, do you want to judge this person or do you want to love this person? So this is the fourth question that we should ask ourselves and others. The fifth. No, this is fourth. I'm sorry. Do you cry? Do you communicate? Cry and communicate. Do you just how keep crying about how this is not working, or do you, or another way to put this is, do you complain or do you explain? कि आप व्यक्ति को समझा रहे हैं क्या कि अपने जो इमोशनल जो इम्पैक्ट है उसके बारे में आप उसको बड़ा कर रहे हैं. So many things can be solved if you communicate properly, if you explain things out. तो बच्चों को भी बोलते हैं ना, रो मत, बताओ, तो उसमें और डर जाता है. क्योंकि हम डांटते उसको बता रहे हैं तो और डर जाता है, वो और बताता नहीं. So do we cry or do we communicate? It said that on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Duryodhana, when he saw the army, he was quite fearful. बहुत डर गया था. But he went and he started to cry in front of Drona कि आपके वजह से हो गया है, आपने दुष्टदुम्न को सिखा दिया, इसके लिए ये हुआ है, तो आप ध्यान से रहिए. भीष्मा, you should be careful because you gave that wound. So blah 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 blah. He started to kind of not really explain the fears that he had, communicate कि मुझे डर लग रहा है कि लोग इतना कॉन्फिडेंट है, छोटे छोटे लोग हैं, कम लोग हैं, लेकिन कॉन्फिडेंट है, rather than इतना बड़ा लोग, इतना बड़ा आर्मी, but they were not together. But when it came to Arjuna, although Arjuna cried, but he didn't cry with his mouth. Most of us cry with our mouth. He explained with his mouth. There was definitely tears in his eyes. Vishidantam idam vakyam. As he was speaking, he was quite sad that this is a scenario. But he explained very logically why I don't want to fight. He gave 5 reasons for why he feels that this is not a good decision to make the fight. But he explained, and he was not fearful that he will be judged. Many times we can't explain to people because we think that मैं बताऊंगा, मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ, तो मुझे judge करेंगे. If I like this or I don't want to do this, then will be questioned. Why you don't want this? Why you don't want this? So many times people don't explain because there is that acceptance is not there. That no matter where you are, as there's a verse in the Gita that says that Atma Vashir Videya Atma, that according to your capacity you try to grow. Not that you have to take big steps. Small steps taken regularly can take you longer than trying to take big steps. The story of Usain Bolt. Amazing lessons that we can take from him. It was his capacity to take small but quick steps rather than एक छलांग में, जैसे हम लोग का वर्कआउट रेजिम्स रहता है कि एक दिन में मैं इसका वॉल्यूम कम कर दूंगा, नहीं होगा. If you try too much, then our back will have a issue. So both were kind of came to their in charges and tried to communicate, explain. But one was crying over it selfishly. Another, Arjuna, was trying to explain his predicament, and also the relationship was that of there was no judgment in Krishna's heart. He accepted whatever were the reasons, and then he just allowed him to grow up, allowed him to see a bigger picture. And that's what is the Gita. And when we do try to communicate, there is a nice story in the Ramayana that Sita Swayamvar, that that Ram's bow was lifted. Ram had lifted the Shiva's bow, and Sita came with the garland, and Ram stopped Sita. That this was not part of the agreement. My Guru told me to break the bow, but not make this marriage. And Sita kind of asked that why do you not Sita asked, but it was kind of quizzical. She didn't understand. Then he said, first of all, my Guru didn't tell me to do this. I don't have blessings from my parents. That I need to have blessings from my parents. And third is that am I qualified to do this? I'm not sure. I need proper clarity from my superiors. And in that Ramayana speaks that any lady, she expects 3 things from her husband. which Sita saw in Ram. One is that his competency. That can he feed me? Can he protect me? Is he competent? नहीं तो कोई लल्लू को कर लिया, वो कोई दुश्मन आ जाएगा तो प्रोटेक्ट नहीं कर पाएगा. Is he competent to explain? Another is that his character. That इतना सुंदर स्त्री जिसको देख के ही लोग गिर जाते थे, ऐसा सुंदर स्त्री सामने है और वो स्वयं गार्डन लेके आई है. फिर भी राम जी बोल रहे नहीं. So what a character, that he has total sense control. He is not just swayed away by his senses. Competence, character दोनों तो अच्छे हैं, बट एक तीसरा चीज है जो women like in men, that is to speak out what is in their mind. Clarity of expression, जो men को बहुत मुश्किल पड़ता है. हाँ, साइलेंस तो है क्योंकि बता नहीं पा रहे, क्योंकि बहुत एनालाइज बहुत करते हैं. So much analysis that there is paralysis of words. ऐसा बोलूंगा तो ये बोल देगी, ऐसा बोलूंगा तो ये बोल देगी, तो फिर बोलते नहीं हो. Therefore they say that the number of words a lady speaks in a day is double than the number of words a man speaks. But थॉट्स में उतना ही है, सोचता ज्यादा है मनुष्य, मानव. ये जनरल स्टडी है. आई टोटली टेक बैक अगर ऐसा है. ये जनरल स्टडी है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग सब लोग ऐसे ही हैं. जनरल है. In a relationship, it's very important for us to communicate कि आपके मन में क्या चल रहा है. Then only we can properly connect to each other. And Sita really liked that Ram had competence, Ram had character, Ram had clarity of expression, that he could express without feeling that someone will judge me or this or that. He expressed that I am not yet ready because of these three reasons. But many times we are not able to communicate, and we just beat around the bush. इसके बारे में बोल रहे हो, उसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं, ये ऐसा कर रहा है. The need is different, and the talk is something else. And many times we ourselves or the other person to really come to that thing. जैसे बच्चे रो रहे हैं, all mothers or those who are raised sometimes fathers also, जब बच्चा रोता है पता चलता है ना आपको, ये किसके लिए रो रहा है. खाने के लिए रो रहा है, कि सोने के लिए रो रहा है, चॉकलेट के लिए रो रहा है. Mothers can make out the need, what is he trying to communicate. But because of the time spent, yes, the mothers can make out. But in a relationship, we are not able to make out, and we are not even really trying to explain to them. So therefore, correct or communicate. The fifth one, we'll go a little faster because time is running out. React or respond. That do you just impulsively speak whatever comes, or you wait and try to respond? Are we like a thermometer or a thermostat? Thermometer just reacts to the temperature. और अगर घर में दोनों थर्मोमीटर है ना तो गर्मी बढ़ जाएगी, कि दोनों एक दूसरे को ताना दे रहे हैं और दोनों का गर्मी बढ़ रहा है. घर में एक तो थर्मोस्टेट चाहिए. आपके घर में थर्मोस्टेट है? एसी? आपके घर में थर्मोस्टेट है, ये एक प्रश्न है. दूसरा है, क्या आप थर्मोस्टेट है कि मेरे पति थर्मोस्टेट है, या मेरे पति थर्मोस्टेट है, मैं थर्मोमीटर. That I'll just blow up and he'll cool me down or she'll cool me down. So let us be like a thermostat. Thermostat, I'm sure, like this air conditioner is a thermostat. We set the temperature and then it maintains. Once in a shopping mall, there was a small little girl. She was doing tantrums. She was just बच्चे कैसे जमीन पे रख के हाथ पैर करते रहे कि एक चॉकलेट नहीं दिया, ये नहीं दिया. So full tantrum she was doing, and the mother, she was looking at this girl, and she said, "Jennifer, relax." And वो सुन नहीं रही है. बाद में बार बार बोल रही है, "Jennifer, relax." तो बाद में एक old lady came there and said, "You are saying relax, relax, तो हो ही नहीं रही है." बोले, "जेनिफर उसका नाम नहीं है, मेरा नाम है." ये मैं खुद को बोल रही हूँ कि इसका हालत देख के तो मुझे लग रहा है अभी मैं फुटबॉल खेलूं इसके साथ, एक दो इसको, ये घर जाके देखती हूँ. बट अंडरस्टैंड सर, जेनिफर रिलैक्स. तो कभी कोई आपको प्रोवोक करता है ना, तो जस्ट से जेनिफर रिलैक्स, शांत हो जाए. कोई प्रोवोक किया इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि बस उसको देने का ही है, बुक्के पे बुक्का. Let us try to peacefully think what's the best. And many times words are not the proper reply for what people see. It is our acts. As I said, your success should speak so loud that those who are speaking about you, they become quiet. कितना भी बोलेंगे नहीं मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ और I am not like that, won't settle. It will just increase the arguments. Then the sixth one is being selfish or being sensitive. That we may see some person and may think from our own perspective. And as I said, don't judge but be curious. There are so many stories that I could share, but let me just quickly go to the next one. The seventh one is compete or cooperate. And everyone has their own area of excellence, and let us try to cooperate with each other rather than trying to compete and prove to each other that I am better than others. What happened? I think it signaled that we should end. Which is the biggest successful city or district in the world where highest number of companies are there, successful companies? Silicon Valley. There Samsung is there, Apple is there, Microsoft is there, and there is something called as collectivity is productivity. This is the concept of Yagya. That apparently Apple and Samsung are rivals, but if you see all the Apple products, उनका जो displays है Samsung ही देता है. They are Samsung displays. So each one of these companies, at one stage they are competing, but if you see the inner structure, they are all cooperating with each other. And because of that, strong cooperation in the technical realm, there's so much growth, and therefore they all want to be in that Palo Alto or San Jose or that Silicon Valley district that is there. So the more successful people want to, there will be that aspect of competition, but let us also cooperate. When it said, when this Ford came up with this seat belt, they didn't put a patent on that. They could have got, but they thought this is such a good invention that it needs to be patent free so that lives can be saved. And that so many lives, of course, now piche bhi lagao, aage bhi lagao, so many rules keep coming. But that aspect of let's try to help others also, not just compete, but let's cooperate. is very important. And the last one, don't freeze that my assignment. Everyone can change. Just a little attempt is needed for us to reform, whether the other person or ourselves. That everyone step by step can change. It's just that we need to have that faith and vision that yes, this person can change, and we give time to people rather than being very harsh in our relationships. So therefore, let us not freeze, but change. Try to change our paradigm. As they say, everyone wants change, but no one wants to change. So हमको सबको दूसरों को बदलना है, लेकिन खुद बदलने के लिए हम नहीं, मैं नहीं बदल सकता, मैं ऐसी हूँ. That won't serve in a relationship, but we should try to change rather than become freeze in whatever is our psychophysical conditions. So thank you very much for these 8 questions that you need to ask. So let's summarize just the questions, not all the description. What was the first question? Tool or goal. Second? Complain or content. Third? Cry or communicate. Fourth? Judge or love. Fifth? React or respond. Sixth? Looks like you're going to take all the words. Compete or cooperate. Seventh? Selfish or sensitive. And eighth? Please or change. जैसा कृष्णा के recent that Saurabh serial had come, Krishna's wisdom, उसमें अंत में बोलते थे स्वयं विचार कीजिए. तो आप स्वयं विचार कीजिए जब आप रिश्ते में हैं कि आप इसको टूल बना रहे हैं. Like every company will have HR department. What is the full form of HR? Human resource. But if you see humans as resource, it's a very wrong way to name. Humans are not resource. Things are resource. Humans are people. And we need to relate with them. Therefore, human relations department should be named rather than human resource department. Then things will actually grow well. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, while we are here, we would like to release our quarterly bulletin at your hands, Yakuta. We're releasing the copy of Panache. All of you will get it on email. A physical copy at the hands of Guruji. Yeah. Yeah, yes. A special thanks to Yakuta and her editorial team for putting together this wonderful quarterly bulletin.
Thanks to Metu, Aditi, Rajay, everybody.
One more thing, sir. As a token of our appreciation, Guruji, we sponsored an underprivileged child's school stationery kit for a year, and in appreciation, we wanted to do this. Before we wind up,